The entire world seemed to darken rapidly as demonic aura surged to the skies, spreading an insidious chill that caused the countless powerful figures present to falter. Lin Dong watched the sudden turn of events with a grim gaze, his eyes fixed on the Yuan sect's domain. Low explosions echoed continuously from within, as Yuan sect disciples burst into clouds of blood one after another, unleashing an overwhelming torrent of demonic aura. These three giants of the Yuan sect were merciless in their methods. To deal with their enemies, they had sacrificed nearly half of the Yuan sect itself. "Be careful, down there," Huan warned as she stepped beside Lin Dong. Her ice-blue eyes trained on the cracked ground below, where a vast and overwhelming demonic aura surged forth. In Lin Dong's eyes, dark shadows flickered, as if forming a black hole. His gaze pierced through the chaotic waves of demonic presence, and his expression shifted abruptly. He saw countless demonic silhouettes tearing through the earth like wild beasts, suddenly leaping out. "What are those?" Little Mink gasped. Below, demonic aura surged as countless shadowy figures rose into the air. All eyes turned to these figures, revealing massive, heavily damaged forms that vaguely resembled human shapes. Their sheer malevolence left no doubt as to their nature. "Alien demons," Elder Zhu intoned solemnly. Beneath the Yuan sect, an army of alien demons had been concealed? No, these are alien demon remains, likely deceased. It seems the Yuan sect's three giants have somehow revived and controlled them. Lin Dong shook his head. These demons lacked the spark of consciousness, their hollow eyes filled only with bloodthirsty violence, as if controlled corpses of slaughter. After the ancient battle, most slain alien demons were purified, leaving not even bones. Yet here, so many remain buried under the Yuan sect. Clearly, they've been actively collecting alien demon corpses for years, setting Huan, a chill rising in her expression. "Be cautious. These demon corpses may not retain their former power, but they're still no trivial threat." Lin Dong nodded, sensing the scene around him was akin to a miniature version of the ancient battles. Back in that primordial era, ancient powerhouses must have faced alien demon armies far greater in strength and numbers than these. Roar! The alien demons tilted their heads back in howling fury, their hollow eyes locking onto the mass of strong practitioners above. Then, like a swarm of locusts, they surged forth, charging toward the sky in an overwhelming wave. "Everyone, strike together. Exterminate these alien demons and destroy the Yuan sect." The sword sect master, Imojian, shouted, unleashing a formidable wave of sword energy that sliced through hundreds of demon corpses with staggering power. "Attack!" Imojian's display roused the morale of the Yuan sect Annihilation Alliance, stirring them to suppress their rising fear. Primordial energy surged as their onslaught descended like a torrential storm, sending demon corpses crashing to the ground in droves. Yet more demon corpses continued to emerge from below. The Alliance's sheer numbers initially countered the demon corpses' assault. However, as the demonic aura intensified, the tide of battle began to shift. Roar! Several massive bursts of demonic aura shot into the sky, revealing dozens of thin but deadly demonic figures. Though smaller than previous demon corpses, these figures radiated an intensely dense demonic aura, hinting at power on par with commanders of the Revolution stage. While weakened from their original might, their presence was formidable, cutting a path through the Alliance's ranks with lethal force. With these elite demon corpses breaching the ranks, the torrent of lesser demon corpses surged forward. The two armies clashed with primal force, demonic aura and primordial energy colliding violently, producing an utterly terrifying spectacle. "Master, help intercept the stronger demon corpses." Lin Dong's gaze swept the chaotic sky. The demon corpses of commander-level strength were tearing through the defensive line, opening dangerous gaps that, if left unchecked, would allow the flood of demon corpses to overrun their forces. "Understood." EngShuanzi nodded gravely. "Great Elder Zhu, Brother Lu Qing, Huan, stay alert. If any exceptionally powerful demon corpses appear, deal with them immediately," Lin Dong said, his gaze fixed on the ground below, where demonic aura churned violently. He could sense that beneath the surface, There were even more formidable demon corpses yet to emerge. The Yuan sect had clearly made extensive preparations for today. A single misstep, and many of the powerful figures in the Eastern Mystery region could perish here. Understood. Zhu Li and the others nodded gravely, fully aware of the gravity of the situation. Those 3 old dogs from the Yuan sect have vanished. They're the real problem, little Mink muttered, a glint of malice flashing in his eyes. Lin Dong's gaze swept across the area, and sure enough, the 3 giants of the Yuan sect had disappeared without a trace. This made him frown slightly. Those 3 old dogs were indeed troublesome. Boom! Just as Lin Dong was about to search for the whereabouts of the Yuan sect's 3 giants, a massive surge of demonic aura erupted from the ground below. Within the rolling demonic energy, several shadowy figures began to slowly emerge. Damn it! Such intense demonic aura. Could these demon corpses have been alien demon kings in life? The Sky Dragon Demon Marshal exclaimed, staring in shock at the figures emerging from the overwhelming demonic energy. As the demonic aura gradually dissipated, 6 shadowy figures came into view. Unlike the other fragmented demon corpses, their bodies were remarkably intact. Evil demonic energy surged within their eye sockets, and a faint pressure could be felt. Clearly, these figures had likely been alien demon kings when they were alive. Upon their appearance, the 6 demon shadows immediately cast their wicked gazes toward Lin Dong and his group. It seemed they had recognized the strength of their opponents. "Let's make our move," Zhu Li, the Great Elder, said in a deep voice. Although the alien demon kings had weakened considerably due to death, they were still beyond the strength of ordinary revolution stage experts. Only by taking action themselves could they hope to stop them. Whoosh! Before they could act, the 6 demon shadows let out sky-piercing howls. Demonic energy surged, and they charged directly toward Lin Dong and his companions. "Be careful," Lin Dong said softly, glancing at Huan and Ling Qingzhu beside him. "Those 3 giants of the Yuan sect are your responsibility. Only by eliminating them can we bring an end to this war." Ling Qingzhu nodded, her voice as cool and clear as ever. After finishing her sentence, she paused briefly before adding, "Be cautious. If you run into trouble, I'll come help you." Without waiting for Lin Dong to respond, Ling Qingzhu's graceful figure shot forward. With a sharp cry, sword energy surged, blocking one of the demon shadows. Lin Dong watched her slender figure, a slight smile on his face. Then, he felt a cool sensation in his hand. Turning his head, he saw a delicate, jade-like hand gently holding his. He looked up to meet Huan's ice-blue eyes. Huan said nothing, simply giving Lin Dong's hand a gentle squeeze before letting go. She then dashed forward, unleashing overwhelming cold energy that froze the evil demonic aura into icy shards. As the others leaped into action, only Little Mink and Little Yin remained by Lin Dong's side. They exchanged glances and saw the fierce gleam in each other's eyes. "Now, let the 3 of us brothers deal with those 3 old dogs," Lin Dong said with a smile. 3 years ago, those old dogs took advantage of Lord Mink's injuries. This time, I'm going to pay them back in full. Little Mink's handsome face was filled with killing intent. The events of 3 years ago had always been a source of shame for him. Back then, among the 3 brothers, he had been the strongest, and in his mind, it had been his duty to protect Lin Dong and Little Yin. But in the end, it was Lin Dong, far weaker at the time, who had fought desperately to shield him. Little Yin gave a simple, honest grin, just as he had 3 years ago. However, now that grin was filled with overwhelming ferocity. The 3 brothers stepped into the air, their fierce aura so intense that even the demonic energy filling the sky couldn't get near them. Rumble. The ground below began to shake violently, and from the thick, demonic energy, a massive demon figure slowly crawled out from the deepest part of the earth. The demonic aura raged wildly. Shrouded in demonic energy, the enormous figure gradually became clearer. It was a gigantic demon creature, pitch black in color, with 4 huge demon arms. It had no eyes, only a grotesque mouth filled with razor-sharp black teeth where its face should have been. Demonic aura poured out of the monstrous mouth like a flood. "What is that?" "Lin Dong, be careful. This is the great heavenly fiend demon, one of the most powerful types of alien demons. Back in the day, the mount of the alien demon emperor was also a great heavenly fiend demon. The power of such a fiend is enough to rival the true king level of the twofold reincarnation tribulation. Yuan's heavy voice echoed at this moment. Rivaling the twofold reincarnation tribulation? Lin Dong's pupils slightly contracted, a trace of alarm flashing in his heart. The current great heavenly fiend demon is obviously just a corpse, but it is being controlled by the Yuan sect's three giants. With their strength, even ordinary reincarnation stage powerhouses wouldn't be able to match it. Lin Dong took a deep breath, his expression serious. He hadn't expected that the Yuan sect's three giants would have such a powerful hidden weapon. He. As Lin Dong felt a shock in his heart, he saw the great heavenly fiend demon's enormous face, its demonic aura slowly wriggling. Then, three human faces appeared, eerily staring at Lin Dong and the other two in the sky. A sharp, distorted laughter echoed. Lin Dong, I've said before, even 3 years from now, you three will still be nothing more than ants in my eyes. Now, do you still have the courage to make a move? Lin Dong's gaze turned icy cold. He fixed his eyes on the great heavenly fiend demon, but a smile slowly curled at the corners of his mouth. A burning heat began to rise in his pitch-black eyes. Indeed, very strong. But that only makes it all the more meaningful to defeat you, doesn't it? With that, Lin Dong turned his head and looked at Little Mink and Little Yin, both of whom now wore increasingly ferocious expressions. Are you ready to fight to the death? Little Mink and Little Yin grinned, their eyes vicious as they nodded forcefully. This day, they had waited 3 years for it. In that case, Lin Dong slowly clenched his palms, a sharp aura soaring into the sky. Let's fight. With those words, 3 sharp auras shot into the sky like unsheathed swords or tigers leaping up the mountainside. The shockwaves from their release immediately dispersed the encroaching demonic aura. The 3 of them stepped through the void, their gazes as cold as ice, locking onto the massive great heavenly fiend demon ahead. Ha ha ha, truly overestimating yourselves. Even if we 3 battle separately, we could destroy your 3 brothers 10 times over. Not to mention, we are now fused with this great heavenly fiend demon. You 3 still think you can avenge your humiliation? Truly laughable, ha ha ha. Feeling the overwhelming battle intent from the 3 eerie faces on the great heavenly fiend demon's body tilted their heads back and laughed loudly. The sharp, combined laughter echoed, full of mockery and disdain. The 3 of them had already reached the reincarnation stage. Now, by merging their blood and flesh with the great heavenly fiend demon, while it did not restore its peak combat power, they were no longer opponents that ordinary reincarnation stage experts could contend with. Moreover, Lin Dong and his team were merely at the revolution stage. To them, this level of strength seemed insignificant. Once we deal with you 3, no one here will escape. Ha ha ha. Lin Dong, you still wish to bloodwash my Yuan sect, but you don't know that we've been waiting for you. You've brought all these rebels against my Yuan sect right to me. I'll take care of all of them, and then see who in the Eastern Mystery region dares to challenge my Yuan sect again. Lin Dong looked coldly at the 3 laughing faces on the great heavenly fiend demon, his palms slowly clenching. Brilliant purple-gold light radiated from his body, and dragon roars echoed loudly, shaking the heavens. Roar! At that moment, Little Yin let out a thunderous tiger roar. As his roar faded, not far behind, the tiger-devouring army quickly sat down cross-legged. Then, a surging black light burst from their bodies, forming a massive black energy shield that enveloped them entirely. Terrifying killing intent spread out. The surging black light surged through the air and was entirely absorbed into Little Yan's body. Instantly, his already towering body swelled even further, with tough black and white tiger fur sprouting from his skin, exuding an overwhelming aura of brutality. Though Little Yin was at the revolution stage, his tiger-devouring army was intricately connected to him. The strength of the thousands of soldiers was now concentrated in his body. Coupled with his top-tier bloodline of the dark sacred tiger, the power he unleashed was so immense that even someone like Elder Zhuli, a reincarnation stage expert, would have to avoid direct confrontation. As Little Yan's strength exploded, Little Mink also leaped into the air, letting out a sharp whistle that soared into the sky. Vast purple-black energy spread outward, and behind him, a pair of massive bat wings unfurled, blocking out the sun. The wings were adorned with purple-gold patterns, radiating a sense of nobility and ancient power. Little Mink, already a powerhouse at the reincarnation stage, was further empowered by his heavenly demon mink bloodline. His combat prowess was equally extraordinary. "Let's fight!" Little Mink's voice rang out with a deep, violent roar, reverberating through the sky. The three of them, their auras now at their peak, were ready for battle. The three giants of the Yuan sect laughed loudly. In the next moment, the enormous great heavenly fiend demon charged forward, causing the ground to tremble as a torrent of demonic aura swept out like a series of violent storms. Roar! Little Yan's tiger-like eyes turned red. Gripping his hand tightly, a massive divine hammer materialized, its body adorned with 9 glowing tripod patterns. He was the first to rush forward, the hammer transforming into a towering shadow of 1,000 feet, tearing through space and smashing toward the great heavenly fiend demon. Whoosh! Little Mink's palm gleamed with a purple-black light, and a flowing purple-black energy beam shot out, carrying vast amounts of power. At the same time, a burst of purple-gold light erupted from Lin Dong's body, and 3,000 purple-gold dragon patterns surged to form a colossal purple-gold dragon's claw thousands of feet wide, which he swung fiercely. The three of them attacked together, unleashing their true strength, and in that instant, a shockwave erupted that nearly tore apart the very heavens and earth. Fiend shield. However, in the face of their combined assault, the three giants of the Yuan sect sneered coldly. The demonic aura surged, and a massive black shield, 1,000 feet in size, materialized in front of the great heavenly fiend demon. The shield was covered in grotesque demonic faces, radiating a terrifying aura. Boom, boom, boom. 3 powerful attacks struck simultaneously, crashing violently into the black shield, creating a deafening explosion. The ground beneath them began to fracture. As the energy ripple gradually dispersed, cracks appeared on the black shield, which slowly shattered. However, the combined force of Lin Dong and his companions had been completely blocked. Has it really only taken you 3 years to grow this much? The 3 faces on the great, heavenly fiend demon twisted into sinister smiles. The enormous body of the demon suddenly surged forward with incredible speed, and in the blink of an eye, it appeared behind Little Yin. Its demonic arm, covered in ominous patterns, clenched into a fist imbued with destructive force and ruthlessly struck down on Little Yin. Roar! The terrifying wind pressure came from behind, and Little Yin let out a mighty roar. Fiendish energy erupted from his body, and black and white light swirled around him, coalescing into a massive black and white tiger shadow. The tiger roared, its paw gripping the divine hammer, and it braced itself, clashing with the great heavenly fiend demon's might. Boom! The 2 forces collided, shattering the space around them. Little Yin was sent flying, and blood began to seep from his paw that gripped the divine hammer. With his strength, facing off directly against the combined might of the Yuan sect's 3 giants, and the great heavenly fiend demon was clearly pushing him to his limits. If not for the bloodline inheritance from the dark sacred tiger, which had strengthened him, he might not have been able to withstand that strike. It seemed that the Yuan sect's 3 giants had realized that Little Yin was the weakest link among the trio. After knocking him back, they did not change targets. The great heavenly fiend demon moved its enormous body and was about to strike again. Purple Moon Slash. However, Lin Dong and Little Mink were not about to let that happen. Little Mink acted first, gripping her hand. A massive, purple crescent moon formed above her, and with a flick of her finger, the purple moon pierced the void, rushing toward the great heavenly fiend demon. Get lost. A sharp voice came from the 3 faces on the great heavenly fiend demon. It swung its massive fist, unleashing a torrent of demonic energy that collided with the mighty purple crescent. The demonic energy surged, and with a single punch, it shattered the purple moon. Whoosh! As the purple moon was destroyed, the great heavenly fiend demon's fearsome jaws snapped open, and a thick beam of demonic energy shot out, faster than lightning, directly heading toward Little Mink. However, just as the deadly beam of demonic energy shot out, a massive black hole suddenly expanded in front of it, swallowing the beam whole. Boom! But the demonic energy contained in the beam was clearly formidable. After being swallowed by the black hole, it rapidly expanded, and with a deafening explosion, a much weaker demonic energy beam shot out, only to be blocked by Little Mink. Seeing that even the black hole formed by their devouring force had been pierced by the great heavenly fiend demon's attack, Lin Dong's eyes narrowed. The combined strength of the Yuan sect's three giants was indeed terrifying. Attacked together, brilliant purple gold light surged, and ancient dragon roars echoed from within Lin Dong's body. His dark eyes were filled with endless battle intent. Today, he wanted to see if the three of them, working together, could defeat the three giants of the Yuan sect. Boom, boom, boom. With his shout, both Little Yin and Little Mink let out long howls, and their internal energy surged to the maximum. In the face of the combined assault from the three, the great heavenly fiend demon let out piercing shrieks, its demonic aura surging like a vast sea, blocking each of their attacks. This intense battle was nothing short of earth-shattering. Wherever the battlefield passed, the ground split apart and space distorted. Each clash between primordial energy and demonic aura was like a tornado sweeping through heaven and earth, forcing demon corpses and nearby powerhouses to hurriedly retreat from its impact. Boom, boom. Despite Lin Dong and the others' relentless siege, the great heavenly fiend demon showed no signs of fatigue, its demonic aura rolling endlessly. Ha ha ha. With a mighty punch, the great heavenly fiend demon sent Little Yin hurtling back. Its distorted, mocking voices echoed, its three eerie faces twisted in ridicule. Is this all you've got, Lin Dong? In this demonic banquet world, demonic aura flows eternally, and the demon corpses will rise again even if defeated, while your Yuan Sect Annihilation Alliance will only weaken. The tables are turning. You'll soon have nowhere to run. Lin Dong's gaze sharpened at these words, glancing around to see the fallen demon corpses indeed rising again under the corruption of demonic aura. Meanwhile, the casualties on the Alliance's side were mounting, despite the efforts of Elder Zhuli, Huan, and other elite warriors to hold the line. We need to end this quickly, Lin Dong, or these demon corpses will just keep getting stronger, said Yin, his voice heavy. Lin Dong's face darkened as he nodded slowly. His gaze turned toward Little Mink and Little Yin nearby, their eyes reflecting a shared, fierce determination. Roar! Suddenly, Little Yin's body expanded at an astonishing rate, a storm of black and white light radiating outward. With an earth-shaking roar, a gigantic black and white tiger, as large as the great heavenly fiend demon itself, emerged, exuding an ancient, ferocious aura that filled the heavens. It was clear that Little Yin had transformed into the dark sacred tiger, his most powerful battle form as a beast. Simultaneously, purple-black light surged from Little Mink's body. His massive bat wings stretched and grew, forming a protective cross in front of him as faint glimmers seeped through. As the wings slowly unfurled, Little Mink was revealed, clad in a purple-black battle armor, his striking face marked with eerie purple-black patterns, long hair cascading in the moonlight like a king of the night. Roar! A dragon's roar resounded as a colossal purple-gold dragon coiled in the sky, exuding an indescribable, ancient dragon might that pervaded the world. The great heavenly fiend demon stood on the ground, surrounded by demonic aura. Above it, the purple gold dragon, the dark sacred tiger, and the heavenly demon mink loomed menacingly. The battlefield had reached a fever pitch. Primordial energy surged, and demonic aura howled. The purple gold dragon, dark sacred tiger, and heavenly demon mink held their ground, their immense bodies radiating a fierce, terrifying energy. In their eyes, an intense battle spirit surged, hot enough to melt anything it encountered. The three giants of the Yuan sect observed the trio, who had transformed into fearsome beasts, their expressions shifting slightly. They could see the formidable power radiating from them. Ordinarily, beast forms wielded greater power in battle than human counterparts of the same level, and the trio before them, transformed into these rare, powerful forms, were no ordinary beasts. Stubborn fools. Let's see how far your strength can take you. One of the three giants sneered. Though briefly taken aback by Lindong and his allies' aura, they quickly regained their confidence. Their strength surpassed Lindong's group by a whole level, and with the great heavenly fiend demon's support, the trio's chance of turning the tide was slim. Roar! Lindong and his allies had no intention of wasting words. The dark sacred tiger, now fully transformed from Little Yin, let out a thunderous roar that seemed to take solid form, reverberating through the battlefield. Swish! Following his roar, Little Yin shot forward, his massive form tearing through space as he lunged at the great heavenly fiend demon. His gaping jaws released a wave of black and white energy, which hurtled directly toward the demon. As the wave neared, the great heavenly fiend demon summoned a barrier of demonic aura, blocking the attack in its entirety. Roar! Undeterred, Little Yin charged forward, his fierce jaws so sharp they seemed to tear through space itself, snapping toward the great heavenly fiend demon with savage intent. The great heavenly fiend demon's body surged with demonic aura, each swing of his demon-infused fist whipping up violent storms of dark energy, before he launched a heavy punch toward Little Yin. Whoosh! Before the demonic fist could connect with Little Yin, an immense wave of purple-black light suddenly swept forward. A massive purple-black crescent moon roared through the air, colliding head-on with the demonic punch's storm. Boom! A cold gleam flashed in the eyes of Yuan Sect's three giants. The dark energy around the demonic fist intensified, morphing it into a sharp blade. Their fingers extended like a fierce demonic spear, piercing straight through the purple-black crescent moon, driving relentlessly toward Little Yin. Roar! A primal dragon's roar echoed, and a massive claw covered in radiant purple-gold scales tore through the space ahead, meeting the sharp, blade-like demonic fist in a brutal clash. Screech! A grating metallic sound rang out as sparks and intense energy scattered wildly. The purple-gold dragon claw was forced backward, shimmering as it resisted the encroaching demonic aura. Slash! With the demonic fist temporarily blocked, Little Yin leapt out, his immense frame moving with a predator's agility. His fearsome tiger jaws bit into the great heavenly fiend demon's arm, crunching down with ruthless force as streams of black blood poured from the wound. You dare! The agony in his arm provoked an enraged shout from one of Yuan Sect's three giants. With a vicious swing of his other demonic hand, he grabbed Little Yan's enormous body and hurled him away. Bang! Bang! Little Yan's form skidded across the ground, carving a deep trench and reducing a mountain in his path to dust. He halted himself, his tiger eyes flashing fiercely as he charged forward once more. Swish! Behind him, Little Mink's massive bat wings unfurled, spanning thousands of feet. Purple-black light converged into a long spear, and in a flash of motion, Little Mink darted forth like a bolt of lightning, launching a fierce assault on the great heavenly fiend demon. Roar! Lindong, transformed into the purple gold dragon, let out a powerful roar. The blinding purple gold radiance around him vaporized the demonic aura within 1,000 feet, his dragon claw tearing through space as he madly struck at the great heavenly fiend demon. Howl! Under this ferocious onslaught from all three, the great heavenly fiend demon let out a bestial shriek. His demonic hand conjured a colossal 1,000-foot totem pole of dark energy, which he swung down with enough force to split the earth, creating immense chasms below. The four giant figures clashed violently, the tiger's fangs gnashing, the heavenly demon Mink's bat wings whipping, and the purple-black spear slicing through the air. The dragon claw's immense power tore the very fabric of space. In this brutal clash, each swipe or strike had the power to level mountains. Despite the fierce attacks from Lindong and his allies, the great heavenly fiend demon refused to yield, his dark totem pole forcing each attacker back with each swing. Though Yuan Sect's three giants held a slight edge in raw power, Lindong and his companions were no ordinary warriors. Each possessed unique abilities, and fought with a life-or-death ferocity that caused injuries on both sides. Under their relentless assault, the great heavenly fiend demon too sustained serious wounds. The battleground was shattered in their wake, with earth splintering and space twisting. An apocalyptic scene. The entire region was in turmoil, as demonic aura engulfed the heavens and earth. In the distance, the deafening sounds of battle resounded. Countless powerful warriors from the Yuan Sect Annihilation Alliance clashed fiercely with the demon corpses, both sides locked in a deadly melee. The sky was littered with figures, some demon corpses, and others from the Yuan Sect Annihilation Alliance, falling like rain from the carnage above, with the battlefield consuming countless lives. Nearby, Huan clenched her jade hand, sending hundreds of ice shards hurtling forward, piercing through a mass of demon corpses. With each wave of freezing air, a trail of frozen demon corpses shattered into icy dust upon impact. However, the sheer number of demon corpses was overwhelming. Only powerful techniques like Huan's, which obliterated their bodies, could prevent their reanimation. The fierce sword energy suddenly swept across the sky, and wherever the sword light passed, the demon corpses rushing towards Huan were instantly sliced into pieces. Huan tilted her head slightly upon seeing this, and then she saw a stunning woman in white standing in the rear. The woman's cool and clear eyes met hers for a brief moment, and then both of them unconsciously turned their heads away. The surrounding demon corpses surged forward again like a tidal wave. Although most of these demon corpses were incapable of harming the two of them, in order to reduce the burden on others, they had to clear as many as possible. As a result, they gradually moved closer together. A chilling aura surged around Huan as she swung her jade-like hands, and once again, hundreds of demon corpses were turned into ice fragments. Then, her gaze couldn't help but shift toward the distant battlefield, where intense and violent fluctuations were emanating. That place was almost the most ferocious combat zone in this region. Huan gazed in that direction, and her brows furrowed slightly. Dong and his companions were fighting fiercely against the Yuan Sect's three giants. Blood splattered everywhere as they clashed head-on in a brutal and tragic battle. "I'll go help him." When Huan saw the purple gold dragon formed by Dong being knocked away by the great heavenly fiend's totem pillar, her beautiful eyes flashed with coldness. Just as she was about to rush over, a slightly cool hand suddenly grabbed her. "What are you doing?" Huan said unhappily. "You shouldn't go to this kind of battle. It's their matter, and if you go, they will be displeased," Ling Qingzhu said softly, releasing her grip on Huan. Hearing this, Huan's movements slowed, and she opened her mouth to retort but fell silent when she remembered Dong's temperament. She knew that although Dong appeared gentle on the surface, his pride was higher than anyone else's. 3 years ago, he had been forced to leave the Dao sect by the Yuan sect's three giants and flee from the Eastern Mystery region. That humiliation must have been a deep scar in his heart. Now that he had returned, with his personality, he would undoubtedly want to personally reclaim that lost honor. This was why, despite having such a powerful puppet, he hadn't even used it. Just as Ling Qingzhu had said, Dong would not want her to help in this kind of battle. Such a shameless guy. Huan looked at the brutal battle scene in the distance, her silver teeth clenched in anger, and she couldn't help but shout out in frustration. Then, a violent cold aura erupted around her, and she charged directly into the demon corpse army. As the cold air swept through, the demon corpses were all turned into ice fragments, and her strikes were even more brutal than before, clearly venting her anger on the poor demon corpses. Boom! The black totem pillar, carrying terrifying demonic energy, swept through the air and struck the charging dark, sacred tiger fiercely. The tiger let out a painful howl, but its eyes flashed with fierce light. Its savage jaws sank into the great heavenly fiend's demonic arm, and with a violent shake of its head, it tore a massive gash into the fiendish limb. Swish! A purple-black light spread across the sky, followed by a furious wind. A massive spear shadow, roughly 1,000 meters long, pierced through the air and struck the great heavenly fiend's chest like lightning. The sharp spear shadow, capable of piercing even top-tier experts at the reincarnation stage, only managed to penetrate half a foot into the great heavenly fiend's body. Roar! A dragon's roar followed, and the enormous purple-gold dragon's claws, thousands of meters in size, clenched into a fist and smashed down hard on the massive spear's shaft. A visible ripple of force spread outward. With this powerful strike, the 1,000-meter-long spear finally pierced through the great heavenly fiend's chest and emerged from the back. Howl! A sorrowful roar, filled with pain, echoed from the great heavenly fiend's massive mouth. The three eerie faces on it twisted into vicious expressions at that moment. You three bastards, dare to hurt the great heavenly fiend? Do you have any idea what it took for us to repair it? The sharp roar rang out, and an extremely terrifying demonic aura suddenly erupted from the great heavenly fiend's body. The Yuan sect's three giants shouted angrily, "Enough games! You three little brats, die for me!" The great heavenly fiend's enormous mouth suddenly opened wide, and a terrifying vortex formed within it. A wave of indescribable demonic energy erupted from its mouth, releasing the scent of death. Great Fiend Abyss. A tidal wave of demonic energy exploded from the great heavenly fiend's hideous mouth, and within the depths of that massive mouth, a strong aura of death spread out, sending chills down one's spine. The earth trembled violently at this moment, and a powerful suction force emanated from the great heavenly fiend's mouth. A surge of suction erupted as a black ring shot from the great heavenly fiend demon's mouth, instantly engulfing the dark sacred tiger that little Yin had transformed into. Whoosh! As the ring enveloped him, the suction force intensified abruptly. Little Yan's massive body lifted into the air and began to draw toward the great heavenly fiend demon's abyss-like mouth. Roar! Little Yin roared furiously, struggling as streams of black and white light burst from within, trying to resist the pull. But it was in vain. He could only watch himself inch closer to the massive mouth, where the foreboding depths radiated an indescribable sense of danger that struck terror into his heart. Seeing little Yin in peril, Little Mink's expression shifted. With the fierce beat of his large bat wings, he shot forward, aiming to pull little Yin back. However, just as he moved, the fiend demon swung his demonic aura totem pillar forcefully, unleashing a vast surge of demonic energy that pushed little Mink back. Haha, no one has ever survived falling into the great fiend abyss, laughed the Yuan sect's three giants, their voices dripping with malice. Little Yin thrashed wildly, but when he realized escape was impossible, a fierce light flashed in his tiger eyes. Blood began to seep from his body, emanating a violent energy that hinted at self-destruction. Bang! Just as little Yin prepared to strike a deadly blow against the three giants, a brilliant purple-gold light enveloped him. A colossal purple-gold dragon tail whipped across his body, sending him hurtling through the air with tremendous force. Little Yan's tiger eyes widened in shock, and he quickly looked over. His blood froze at the sight. Lin Dong, in his purple-gold dragon form, had taken his place and was now being swallowed into the great heavenly fiend demon's mouth, filled with endless demonic aura. Big brother! An intense crimson rage surged through little Yan's eyes, and he immediately turned to charge at the great fiend demon. But he was swiftly blocked by little Mink, who appeared in his path. Second brother, what are you doing? Little Yin demanded angrily. What's with the panic? Do you think he'd be so reckless? It won't be that easy to swallow him whole. Little Mink scolded, his handsome face darkening. But, little Yin hesitated, calming slightly but his eyes still blazing with crimson. He had clearly sensed the terrifying demonic aura within the great fiend demon's mouth. Falling into it would erode even a reincarnation stage powerhouse. Haha, you two are still deluding yourselves. Anyone who falls into the great fiend abyss will be reduced to ashes by the demonic aura, even a reincarnation stage expert. That Lin Dong foolishly thinks he can escape. How ridiculous! Laughed the three giants of the Yuan sect, mockery in their voices. Little Mink kept his face impassive, watching their sneering expressions. He simply said to little Yin, when the chance comes, strike with everything you've got. Noticing the calm determination on little Mink's face, Little Yin felt reassured, nodding heavily in agreement. Now that the three giants had dealt with Lin Dong, their greatest threat, they were visibly excited. Their cold eyes locked onto Little Mink and Little Yin, and they sneered, preparing to attack. Buzz. Just as they were about to strike, a strange humming sound emerged from within the great fiend demon. Hearing this, doubt flickered in the eyes of the three giants. "You three old dogs, this young master is no easy prey. Swallow me if you dare, but I'm not so easy to digest." A cold chuckle echoed from within, following the buzzing sound. "He may be tough, but I refuse to believe he'll survive the great fiend abyss," sneered the three giants, their eyes flashing coldly. The great fiend demon's body suddenly darkened, and vast amounts of demonic aura surged within as it attempted to obliterate Lin Dong. "Haha, send all the demonic aura you want. I'll purify every last bit." Lin Dong's laughter rang out again as the fiend demon's body started to shake violently. Gentle white light began to seep through the massive form. Arg! As the white light appeared, the faces of the three giants twisted in horror, their screams echoing as the fiend demon's body trembled. Boom! Amid the flashing white light, a low rumble of thunder sounded. It seemed as though immense lightning had exploded within the great fiend demon, shattering the vast demonic aura to pieces. The three giants of the Yuan sect roared fiercely, and a gleam of murderous intent flashed in their eyes. Suddenly, a deep rumbling echoed from within the great heavenly fiend demon, its massive belly writhing as waves of demonic aura surged toward Lin Dong inside. "Move! Bind him down!" Upon seeing this, Little Mink immediately shouted and charged forward. Hands clenched as 10 purple-black crescent moons materialized around him. These crescents emitted powerful waves of reincarnation energy, whistling as they hurtled toward the great heavenly fiend demon. Roar! Little Yin, already impatient, let out a tiger's roar and dashed forward even faster. Black and white light flared from his body as his razor-sharp tiger claws tore through space, leaving deep bloody gashes across the demon's iron-like flesh. Enraged, the great heavenly fiend demon swung a massive totem pole, slamming it into Little Yan's body with a heavy thud. The force left his flesh torn and blood streaming, but Little Yin showed no sign of retreat. Black and white light surged wildly from his claws, slashing relentlessly at the demon's body as if he intended to tear it to shreds. Bang! 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 The fierce purple-black crescents followed, slashing deeply into the demon's body, leaving trails of dark blood pouring down. With Little Mink and Little Yan's interference, the three giants couldn't focus on Lin Dong within the demon's body and were forced to redirect their attacks toward the two. Though deprived of Lin Dong, the two soon found themselves pushed onto the defensive. Yet, they unleashed their ferocity to its fullest, willing to sustain heavy injuries if it meant leaving some damage on the great heavenly fiend demon. During their struggle, the demon's strength began to fade gradually. Inside, Lin Dong was swiftly purifying the demonic aura. It was evidently unwise of the Yuan sect's three giants to have swallowed Lin Dong, as his entire body was equipped with artifacts specifically crafted to counter alien demons. Though the demonic aura within the demon was vast, it proved ineffective against Lin Dong. Thud. Sensing the demon's weakening, Little Mink and Little Yin seized the opportunity, unleashing a barrage of attacks that tore open a massive, deep wound across its chest. Roar! The great heavenly fiend demon let out a tortured roar, its colossal body sent flying backward. In its fury, it spat out a beam of black light, which soon coalesced into a human form in midair. Lin Dong. Old dog, now do you see just how tough I am? Lin Dong's body was also covered in wounds, with blood trickling from the corner of his mouth. Though he had wreaked havoc within the demon, he had clearly paid a painful price as well. Curse you! I'll kill you! The three giants of the Yuan sect howled in fury. They could sense the severe damage within the demon, worse than any inflicted by Lin Dong and his companions in prior battles. Most importantly, the demonic aura inside had been thrown into chaotic disarray, weakening their power. Had they known this would happen, they would never have swallowed such a menace. As the enraged three giants glared at him, Lin Dong's eyes flashed with a fierce gleam. Wiping the blood from his mouth, he slowly settled into a cross-legged position in midair. Little Mink, little Yin, guard me. With those words, Lin Dong closed his eyes, and the vast primordial energy within him began to recede, leaving him in an eerily tranquil state. The three giants stared at his calmness in shock, a sense of unease creeping into their hearts. After Lin Dong's cunning maneuvers, they dared not underestimate the young man they had chased out of the Eastern Mystery region 3 years before, like a dog with its tail between its legs. A twisted expression crossed their faces, and with a roar, the great heavenly fiend demon raised its totem pole, which transformed into a beam of black light, piercing through the void straight toward Lin Dong. Whoosh! However, just as the totem pole approached within 100 meters, purple-black light flashed as Little Mink's immense wings, spanning thousands of meters, formed a shield before Lin Dong. The wings collided with the totem pole, sending waves of energy rippling outward. Blood surged up Little Mink's throat, yet he managed to stabilize himself, holding off the demon's ferocious attack. Roar! At that moment, Little Yin let out a frenzied growl as black and white light burst forth from his massive body. His already huge form expanded further, his eyes blazing red with fury. His razor-sharp claws tore through space, launching a relentless assault on the great heavenly fiend demon. Bang! Facing the frenzied attacks from Little Yin, the great heavenly fiend demon roared fiercely. His demonic fist swung, and with each punch landing on Little Yan's body, a deep rumbling sound, like the shaking of the earth, reverberated through the air. As the space trembled, Little Yan's black and white form was gradually soaked in blood. At the same time, Little Mink's eyes burned with a crimson rage. Gripping 2 enormous crescent moons, its wings flapped, allowing it to dart like a ghost around the great heavenly fiend demon. The crescent blades traced shocking arcs as they struck violently against his body. Boom! Boom! The three-way battle raged on. Though Little Mink and Little Yin were repeatedly sent flying by the blows, they immediately charged back with bloodshot eyes, their desperation lending them strength. Their almost suicidal determination actually made the great heavenly fiend demon unable to move, keeping him in place. Get away from me! The great heavenly fiend demon bellowed, extending his demonic arm. One hand pierced the space to grab hold of Little Mink's bat-like wing, while the other seized Little Yin by the head, and with a savage grin, he smashed them together with a terrifying force. Blood splattered as they were sent flying, crashing into the ground and tearing it apart, leaving a deep fissure. I'm going to kill you both today. The Yuan Sect's 3 giants, watching the bloodied great heavenly fiend demon, were seething with rage. Their murderous intent surged, and they were about to charge when suddenly their expressions changed. They looked up in shock, only to see Lin Dong, with his eyes still closed in the sky, slowly open them. As his eyes parted, a black line cracked open between his brows, revealing a mysterious eye, deep and dark, within which lightning seemed to flicker. As this eye, radiating black light and flashing with thunder, appeared on Lin Dong's forehead, even the Yuan Sect's 3 giants felt a surge of terror rising in their hearts.